made the numbers seem a little bit different than what we think they're going to be. So now the Fed's got to kind of say, hey, look, we want to be able to lower interest rates. They do. I don't think they want interest rates at 4.25%, 4.5%, but they're really worried that we're going to see a resurgence in inflation. And until they really have the economic data, I think their idea is, let's just chill out. We have the next meeting will happen in May. If things have really collapsed at that point, we'll lower interest rates then. And if we see a resurgence in inflation, then we were right to do nothing.
How will President Trump react if they decide to make no change right now?
That would be not well. And I think that I say that sort of laughing because, look, the president has made his displeasure of Jerome Powell known. And you remember that, there was a hot moment where the president was considering firing Powell. He even said it. He said that they were looking at it. His advisor said they were looking at it. And markets reacted very poorly. And there was a real concern that that was something that the president would consider. And, as much as people may not like the Federal Reserve or they may not like Jerome Powell, the idea of an independent Federal Reserve Bank is a very important one for consumers and for economists and for investors. And so they want to see the Fed chair just hang on to his job for the next year, and the president will make his appointment after that.
Jill, what I noticed on your JillOnMoney.com blog is basically my words, not yours, but the check engine light is on with credit card debt. What are you seeing there?
This is very concerning to me, at least. I was watching this because at the end of last year, the Federal Reserve Bank of Philadelphia had some analysis, and they said that in the fourth quarter of last year, the percentage of accounts, that credit card accounts that were now past due, 30, 60, 90 days past due, actually was going up. So wrong direction. Like, wow, a lot of people struggling to keep up. And that indicates some consumer stress. And we found this out also when the nation's biggest banks reported their earnings a couple of weeks ago. Like JP Morgan Chase said, hey, we have to basically write off a bunch of credit card balances because we don't think that the folks who owe us this money, that they're going to pay it back. So that means that there is stress on the consumer, and it's not widespread, but just obviously, if you have a credit card balance and the average credit card rate is something like 22, 25, 29% in some cases, that's hard to pay off. And so those folks are really hoping that the Fed starts lowering interest rates, because then credit card interest rates will drop as well. They won't go down as far as the Fed rates, but it will be the right direction. But I think the Fed is concerned that not only are the people who are in debt having problems, but that overall, if you're going out and getting a car loan, even though the Fed doesn't control mortgage rates, but overall the rate structure is high. And that is not good. And it tends to be really hard on those folks who are middle to lower income earners.
Jill, when you talk about consumer stress, you also point out on your blog a new study that shows a lot of people are more worried about running out of money than they are death.
Okay, that just drove me to a different place, because I said, come on, how could that be? I mean, is this just that we're like given to hyperbole? We just, oh my God, I'm so worried. Okay, but it is true that the Allianz Life, big life insurance company, global life insurance company, they do a retirement study every year. And they're in their study, again, 64% of Americans, I'm worried more about running out of money than death. That's stunning to me. We have a lot of people who are really worried about retirement. They're worried about what's going to happen in the next 6 months. Now, I don't know if that's going to show up in the data, because sometimes you think about yourself. Sometimes I'm worried about something, but then if I'm going out to dinner right after that, I'm still spending money in the economy. So I can feel one way. The question is whether that shows up in data. Companies can say, I'm really worried about tariffs, but if they're not changing their habits and they're not cutting jobs, then the Fed's not going to really care about this. As soon as the emotions translate into actions, then the Fed is going to care. And I care just because I hear from people on my radio show and on my podcast that there's a lot of anxiety bubbling around consumers. And, for the middle or lower income people, it is the day-to-day struggle. And for the upper middle to the higher, it's just like consistent worry because of the big swings in markets and the big changes in policy. Listen, we're human beings. It's hard to process so much information. We are not microchips. We are not computers. So when there's a lot of day-to-day changes in policy and announcements, it can be overwhelming. And I think that's also what people are really reacting to.
CBS financial analyst Jill Schlesinger. Her show airs on KIRO on Sunday afternoons. I was listening just yesterday. It's a fun listen, Jill, so thanks for joining us, and we'll be tuning in this weekend.
Thanks for having me.
It's 8:22, and that's time to get back to the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk. And Chris Sullivan.
And we are definitely seeing the impact of this crash in Soto at 4th and Spokane. This is a fatal crash investigation that's only about 15 minutes old, but it's right there at 4th Ave, right as it goes underneath the Spokane Street Viaduct. And this has basically backed up 4th all the way back to Dawson, almost back to the Georgetown Brewery, if you know that, or the north end of Georgetown. Airport Way is going to be your best option if you're working around, because First Ave was already jammed up as it is, and 99 always, East Marginal Way as it always is. 6th is pretty heavy as well, but it's better than 4th, definitely. But Airport Way is the way to go to get around this. To our freeways now, we've got a new crash to tell you about in the south end. This one is on westbound 512, trying to work your way away from South Hill into Parkland. It's right after Canyon Road, close to Waller. The right lane is blocked there, and we've got about a 2-mile backup. Northbound I-5 is struggling in South Tacoma. Got that little blip there we get some days north of 512 from about 84th up to 72nd. So that's why we're at 45 minutes from Olympia to Tacoma. And then Tacoma to Federal Way is running right about an hour and 10 minutes. The heaviest part of that drive getting past the West Seattle Bridge. Renton to Bellevue, a solid 45 minutes, but there is a gap through Newcastle and Factoria before you hit it again going into South Bellevue. Valley Freeway's trying to get better out of Auburn. It's trying. It's not quite there yet. Still 30 minutes out of Auburn and 50 from Puyallup. Got about an hour and 5-minute trip from Everett to Bellevue and about an hour from Everett to Seattle. I-5 is not as bad through Shoreline as it could be, but 405 bumper to bumper all the way down through past Bothell, really, and kind of down into Totem Lake. This report brought to you by Global Credit Union, where members enjoy no-fee accounts and early payday with direct deposit. You can learn more at globalcu.org.
Beautiful day on tap with highs in the upper 60s, a lot of sunshine. Tomorrow, even warmer. We're expecting highs today in the upper 60s, right around 70. Upper 70s for your high tomorrow with a lot of sun. Cool back down a little bit, and by the weekend, we'll be in the low 60s. Right now in Seattle, sunshine and 45 here on Seattle's Morning News.
Longtime CBS broadcaster Peter Van Zandt is diving deep on a mysterious death from the Northwest on his new podcast. It's a fascinating case, and we'll have more on that coming up on Seattle's Morning News.
This hour is brought to you by WaFd Bank.
The John Curley Show.
When I was shooting at a squirrel, I was like 10 years old. I traded out. It was a high-8 film that got confused with my mom and dad's high-8 films from Singapore. And it had a woman undressing, so it was like a nudie film. I didn't even think like I was going to miss. And it went right past the squirrel. Yeah. And it hit my neighbor's a great big picture window. He got me dead to rights.
John Curley, weekdays 3 to 7 on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
This is Jill Schlesinger. May is Military Appreciation Month, and I know how much I appreciate the military. I married into a military family. I hear from so many members of the military, and Navy Federal Credit Union wants us to celebrate those who go above and beyond for us every day. If you're active duty, a veteran, or part of a military family, you're eligible to join. At Navy Federal Credit Union, the members are the mission. Learn more at NavyFederal.org/celebrate. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
Ooma. What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very
calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business calm at ooma.com/radio.
My name is Ariel. I moved to the U.S. U.S. at 19. I spoke no English and I struggled finding job opportunities. Everything I have, I owe to the Adult Literacy Center and getting my high school diploma at age 22.
It was an honor helping you achieve your greatness. Now you're helping others achieve theirs. It inspires me.
When you graduate, they graduate. Find free and supportive adult education centers near you at finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Well, Trina, now you're in charge of ordering food for the office, so meet my mountain of menus.
So, this should be easy.
Easy as pie. You know the mathematical constant for a circle circumference to diameter ratio, pi? It's super complicated.
In that case, I'll be using EasyCater. It's got everything on one simple platform. Tons of restaurants, dietary preferences, even digital receipts.
But my mountain of menus.
How about I order us some pie?
EasyCater, the easy way to get food for work.
G. Scott here with former Seahawk Doug Baldwin. Tell us about Nourishing Champions.
We know the benefits for young people in sports, but we often don't think about the barriers. And one of those barriers is having proper nutrition. So Nourishing Champions, in partnership with Champions of Change and Safeway, is an effort to address those barriers so that our student athletes have what they need to excel both on the field and in the classroom.
High schools can apply for grants up to $25,000 from Nourishing Champions. Learn more at championsofchangefoundation.org/Nourishing Champions.
It's time to break up with bad contractors. You know the ones. They ghost your calls, cancel on you, and leave a mess behind. Ready to settle down? Swipe right on Valentine Roofing. Our team delivers seamless communication, maintains meticulous job sites, and we stand by our work with a lifetime warranty. Valentine Roofing offers an upfront and honest approach to roofing. So, say goodbye to bad contractor relationships and hello to Valentine Roofing. Schedule your free estimate today by calling us at 206 Roofing.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it'd go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular to get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for autopay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Mike Salk here, and you've probably heard me mention that Crawl Pros has a full-service pest control division called Pest Pros, and they can prevent bug and rodent infestations from reoccurring at your house. You probably also know that it's especially important to keep a close eye on any signs of pest intrusion in your home during the spring. Why? Well, let's start with rodents. They're at the peak of their reproductive season, so if just one makes its way into your house, it could quickly turn into hundreds, and then you've got damage to insulation, wiring, even structural features, not to mention they're disgusting and carry disease. You may also see an increase in bugs, especially ants this time of year, as they're just looking for food. But if you got kids, you know they leave food everywhere, so this can become an even bigger issue. If you have any reason to think you've got a pest problem, you want to take care of it quickly before you have a much larger problem on your hands. So call Pest Pros. They'll come in, do a free corner-to-corner inspection, just like they did at my house, and fix the problem. If you're worried that any type of critter is making a home of your home, call Pest Pros or visit gopestpros.com.
Charlie Harger here. When your hot turns to cold, you better think fast. Fast water heater. Call 1-800-THINK-FAST. That's 1-800-THINK-FAST or fastwaterheater.com.
You better think fast. Fast water heater.
I'm Macy House with Baird Global Investment Banking. In today's markets, global financial capabilities aren't worth much without personal attention to your priorities. Baird Banking, Research, and Private Equity professionals are located across 3 continents, sharing more than investment expertise. As employee owners of our firm, we all have a personal stake in your success, here in the Pacific Northwest and around the world. Discover the Baird difference. Visit rwbaird.com/Seattle.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It's 8:31. A pair of double stabbings over the weekend, just blocks apart, has Seattle police searching for suspects this morning.
Police say 2 men were stabbed in a park in the Chinatown International District. Less than 24 hours later, 2 men were stabbed at a nightclub in Pioneer Square. We get the details live from KIRO Newsradio's Luke Ducey.
Yeah, 2 stabbings in just 2 days. On Saturday, police say there was a fight near Hinghey Park in the CID. A 32-year-old man was stabbed in the neck. He was taken to Harborview in critical condition. A 37-year-old man was also stabbed in the arm. He was okay, police say. No arrests so far. Sunday night, then, 2 men were stabbed at a nightclub in Pioneer Square. Police say it happened during a private event and that the 30-year-old and 26-year-old victims took themselves to Harborview. Witnesses say the 2 got into a fight with the suspect. No arrests in that case either. That last stabbing that we talked about in Pioneer Square happened on the same block as Seattle's first homicide of this year.
Luke, thank you for the update. Police are investigating 2 deadly shootings in Federal Way. On Saturday, just after 4 p.m. at the Uptown Square Apartments, a man in his 20s was shot and killed. This man spoke to KIRO 7 TV.
And I looked out the window, and I see the lifeless victim laying on the floor.
Suspect has not been caught in that case. Hours later, around 11 p.m., a second shooting happened in a parking lot near Southwest 330th Street, killing a 34-year-old man. Police say the suspect and victim in that case knew each other, and a person of interest has been identified. Federal Way police say the 2 shootings are unrelated.
2 veterans of the Lakewood Police Department are back on the job after misconduct suspensions. The News Tribune reports a sergeant and a detective both faced discipline last year. Investigators say both men made offensive jokes about race and sexuality and didn't report them. They were demoted in July, but an arbitrator reversed that decision last month. Both officers were reinstated with back pay. Chief Patrick Smith says a toxic culture in the department needs serious reform. Lakewood is now offering bias and harassment training to all officers.
It's 8:33. Let's head over to the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk with Chris Sullivan.
And our most unusual slowing today is on westbound 512. We've got about a 3-mile backup now getting from South Hill over into Parkland. We've got a crash that's been blocking the right lane there as you get past Canyon, close to Waller Road. However, I am seeing the backup getting a little bit better on the west end, so maybe they've cleared that thing out of the way. But either way, we do have about a 10-minute delay through the area. Once you get over to I-5, it's going to be not too bad with some of the slowing we had near 72nd. It's out of the way. And Tacoma itself is in pretty good shape. And then Federal Way to Seattle is rolling at about an hour and 10 minutes, with 40 of those minutes from South Center. Do not bail and go through Soto and come up 4th Ave. Do not get on 4th Avenue north out of the Georgetown area. We've got a fatal crash right underneath the Spokane Street Viaduct, and this is going to be a long-term investigation. So your best bet is to stick with Airport Way. 99 East Marginal is not bad. First Ave is a little thick past the area, but yeah, I'd stay away from 4th for a while till they give us a little bit more information. Northbound I-5, as I said, is running right around an hour and 10. Federal Renton to Bellevue is about 45. The Valley Freeway still 35 out of Auburn. Out of the north end, solid hour drives from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue. 405 is jammed up from Linwood all the way down through Bothell. This report brought to you by Beacon Plumbing. For all your heating, electrical, septic, mechanical needs, stop freaking and call Beacon.
Beautiful day. It's going to be a nice week. Today, sunshine and 68. Tomorrow, the warmest day of the week, warming up to 77. We'll be back to the low 60s Wednesday and Thursday, but still partly sunny. Friday, partly sunny and 68. Right now, it's sunny and 48 in Seattle.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
Well, beginning Wednesday, a new podcast being released from the creators of 48 Hours is titled Train to Kill: The Dog Trainer, the Heiress, and the Bodyguard. It's a new true crime limited series as being told by award-winning broadcaster for CBS News and Seattle native Peter Van Zandt, who joins us now on Seattle's Morning News. Peter, thanks for joining us this morning.
Hey, Charlie. Hi, Amanda. How are you?
Hi, we're great. Welcome back to your hometown.
Absolutely.
Tell us a little background on the story for people who don't remember. It's intriguing.
This is one of those off of a typewriter or a laptop of a Hollywood screenwriter. Mark Stover was this talented dog trainer. He was based up outside of Anacortes on an island called Ticket Island that was owned by, at the time, his wife, Linda Updike. She was an heiress to the Chateau San Michel winery. Her father, Wally, was co-owner of that, and he also owned K2, the skiing and snowboarding company. She needed her dog trained. She meets Mark Stover. They have a professional relationship, and over the course of 11 years, they build $1 million a year dog training business. Eddie Vedder from Pearl Jam was one of their clients. KIRO was one of their clients. And then things went bad after they got married after 11 years, and she noticed a dark side to him, so she decided she wanted a divorce. And she claims then after that occurred, Mark Stover started to stalk her, harass her, threaten her. She ended up moving over to Winthrop on the other side of the Cascade Mountains. He followed her. She had security cameras in this large mansion she lived in, and I was there with her. I saw all the black and white images of Stover trying to test all the doorknobs that he could find on the outside of the house to try to get into her. She ends up hiring a security specialist named Michael Oakes. They fall in love. There's a love triangle here. Mark Stover wants her back. She doesn't want that. Michael Oakes becomes involved, and then in October of 2009, an employee of the dog training business goes into his house. Enormous smell of bleach. There's blood on the floor, blood on the walls. No Mark Stover. There's a dog there that's been shot 3 times in the head that's whimpering. They call the cops, and the detective from Skagit County walks in. He says, this blood tells a story, and it's a story of murder. And what unfolds is just a remarkable, you can't believe this stuff actually happens in real life. And for me, it's a very personal story, and of course, it's a place I've been to ever since, I was a small child, almost every year. My family are descendants from Orcas Island, among the original homesteaders, and so this was a deeply personal story for me.
It almost feels like this is a tailor-made story for Pacific Northwest. This is something that almost could only happen here.
It so is, and the thing that's so great when you're listening to it as a Northwestern person, I was involved deeply in the production and the writing of the podcast. And so, I found out about this story. One of my best friends lives in Mount Vernon. He called me up one morning. I'm back in New York, and he said, you're not going to believe what happened. Just down the road in Anacortes, I called, and I got our people mobilized to get going on this, and I followed it, off and on for several years before we ended up doing a 2-hour version for 48 hours. But the podcast, I like to say, is the movie version with all the things we were never able to get to with the limits of television, is now in this 6-part podcast.
Peter Van Zandt, CBS News, of course, and his new podcast, Trained to Kill the Dog Trainer, The Heiress and the Bodyguard. Peter, I'm assuming we can find this anywhere we get our podcasts?
That's right. Wondery and Spotify and Apple. There already are 4 episodes that are out. The 5th one drops on May 7th in just 2 days, and then the final one on May 14th.
Sounds like a really great listen. We appreciate your time this morning. Seattle native Peter Van Zandt of CBS News.
And Sully, what's coming up in traffic?
Well, we're going to talk about the crash down in the Lakewood area, Parkland area, westbound 512. I'll give you the details coming up next.
KIRO Newsradio is right there with you.
A big story developing this morning.
On your smart speaker before you head out the door.
We get the latest live from KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey.
Huge impacts for Boeing and Boeing workers.
The office, the gym, anywhere.
Water, like taxes, goes all the way down to the bottom, so it'll either come out of the employee's paycheck or the lack of raise.
KIRO News Radio. We're on YouTube, our app, your smart speaker, and 97.3 FM.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get ready for Camping World's Red, White, and New Trade Event, May 15th through the 18th. Get the highest value for your RV guaranteed during the biggest RV trade event of the year. Shop the best RV deals in America with new RVs starting as low as $92 a month. Get ready for the holiday weekend with up to 45% off grills and 25% off product installation. Plus, we'll have free hats, free propane refills, free food, and fun for the whole family. Don't miss the incredible Red, White, and New Trade Event, May 15th through the 18th at your local Camping World.
See dealer for full details and disclaimers. At Les Schwab, we've been changing the tire game for more than 70 years. Our Go the Extra Mile service means more hustle, less hassle. We design our own exclusive tires to give you more tires made for the road you drive, less compromise. All backed by America's best tire warranty included with every tire we sell. We're talking more unbeatable tire warranty, less charging you extra, like the other guys. It's why you get more from less. Book an appointment at leschwab.com.
The markets and the economy will change, but you should always know what you can rely on from your financial advisor. I'm John Ramsire with Baird Private Wealth Management in Seattle. With deep planning and investment expertise, Baird's financial advisors have guided individuals and families through changing markets for more than 100 years. And in all that time, our guiding principle has never changed. Our clients come first, always. Discover the Baird difference at rwbaird.com/Seattle.
Do you need glasses or contacts and you're now at the age where you also need readers? K2 Vision RLE is the permanent solution to eliminate the need for all those. Hey, it's Doctors King and Kopstein from K2 Vision. Andy, for those nearing age 50 or so, refractive lens exchange can be a great alternative to LASIK.
That's right, Joe. K2 Vision RLE is a terrific permanent solution for a lifetime of great vision. The older we get, we experience the dysfunction of our natural lens, which affects both distance vision and requires the use of reading glasses. Plus, after K2 Vision RLE, you will never develop a cataract.
And like LASIK, K2 Vision RLE is quick and painless. The question is, which procedure is right for you?
After replacing more than 100,000 failing lenses, we have the experience to tell you if it's your right time for RLE.
Schedule your free Zoom consultation with us about K2 Vision RLE to get your eyes seeing young again, permanently.
Go to k2visionrle.com. k2visionrle.com.
It's 8:43, and Chris Sullivan is at the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk.
And we've got a big problem in the Soto area. We've got a fatal crash investigation on 4th Ave and basically the Spokane Street Viaduct. So right underneath the viaduct there where we have this crash, it looks primarily to be impacting the northbound direction only, but it's backed up all the way to Lucille coming up out of Georgetown. So do not get on 4th Avenue at this point. 1st Ave is not as bad. 6th might actually be okay if you bail from Airport Way. Airport Way is probably the go-to. It has the most capacity. 99 is pretty well filled in. So just keep that in mind. It's going to be a very tough drive heading northbound coming up from Georgetown into Soto. We had the crash down in the Parkland area, westbound 512. It has cleared. It was near Waller Road, just there before you got off at Franklin Pierce at Portland Ave. So back up there has dissipated, which is great, and most of Pierce County is getting better. Federal Way to Seattle's running just over an hour. Rented to Bellevue about 40. We've definitely picked up the pace on the Valley Freeway, back under 28 minutes to go from Auburn, so right under 50 from Puyallup. Coming down from the north end, under an hour from Everett to Seattle and just over an hour from Everett to Bellevue. You don't hit the brake lights till you get down to Linwood. This report brought to you by Washington 811. If you're digging in your yard, the law requires you to call 811 to avoid dangerous and costly damage to utility lines. Call 811 or submit online at digsafewa.com.
It's a beautiful sunny Monday morning in Seattle and all around the Puget Sound area. 48 degrees right now. We're headed for a high of 68. Tomorrow will be the warm-up, 77 in the sunshine tomorrow, and then back to the low 60s. But partly to mostly sunny Wednesday, Thursday. Looks like the sunshine continues on Friday.
8:45 now. Katrina Gishard is at the editor's desk.
The Real ID deadline is rapidly approaching. Americans will be required to switch to the enhanced form of identification by Wednesday if they want to travel by plane domestically. KIRO 7 TV spoke with a mother at SeaTac Airport this morning who's trying to set up an appointment for her son who's coming home this month.
I had to log in, I did it once a week, every Monday to try and get him an appointment while he's home for Memorial Day weekend, and it was a pain in the butt.
If you have if you don't have a real ID, the TSA will accept other forms of ID, including passports, permanent resident cards, enhanced IDs, and global entry cards. And Southern Rock Legends 38 Special are coming to the Washington State Fair. They're known for hits like Caught Up in You, which you just heard, Hold On Loosely. The band has been on the road for 5 decades. Fans can catch them perform live in Puyallup on Monday, September 18th. Tickets on sale this Friday.
I played 38 Special all the time when I was a DJ in Olympia and in
surprising.
Centralia.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love those guys.
going to be a fun show.
Yeah, coming up, it'll be a fun segment with G. Scott. He has a bone to pick with Sully. That's on the way.
Great.
Here on Seattle's Morning News.
Hartley Wilcox here from Wilcox Family Farms. A question we get asked a lot this time of year is, how do the hens stay warm when it's so cold out? Of course, we have nice barns to protect them from the rain, wind, and snow. But also, their feathers are like a down jacket, and if they need additional warmth, they will often snuggle together. And for those very cold days, we have heaters to keep them comfortable and happily laying eggs. Wilcox is committed to organic, humane practices that keep our hens healthy and help preserve the land. When you choose food from local family farmers like Wilcox, you support the local economy with jobs and promote environmental sustainability, making it possible for our family to keep on producing great eggs for another 100 years. Pick up Wilcox eggs at Costco, Marlene's, and Hagen's. And for a healthy snack on the go, grab some ready-to-eat, pre-peeled, hard-boiled eggs in a convenient to-go 2-pack. Wilcox Family Farms, locally fresh since 1909.
Hey, it's Lori from Guardian Roofing, Gutters, and Insulation with exciting news. We now offer the exclusive K-Guard gutter system. Say goodbye to clogged gutters and hello to less maintenance. Call today or visit us online at guardianroofing.com.
Save on a 2-night getaway to beautiful Victoria, BC with the FRS Clipper Spring Sale. Travel car-free on the Clipper Fast Ferry and stay at a charming downtown hotel. Up to 20% off. Save during Clipper Spring Sale at frsclipper.com.
I've always been an athletic guy, but after turning 40, I noticed I was slowing down. I booked a free testosterone check with Revive Health and learned that low T doesn't just impact my performance in the bedroom. I've been following a custom treatment plan ever since, and today I'm feeling stronger and more confident than ever.
If you're ready to book your free T-check, text BOOST to 65555 or visit ReviveMensHealth.com to schedule your appointment. Message and data rates may apply. Message frequency varies. Text help for help. Text stop to cancel. See privacy policy at ReviveMensHealth.com/privacy policy. For info on how opt-in info will be used and terms and conditions at ReviveMensHealth.com/terms of use for terms of short code service.
Nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all. Sound like your home? Then call for your free inspection.
InsulationNorthwest.com.
Safety first comes with available financing at Bucky's Complete Auto. For oil changes, brakes, tune-ups, wiper blades, and factory maintenance, check the Bucky's near you at buckys.com.
Seattle's Morning News. Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime on mynorthwest.com.
Manda, I am literally shouting in this studio, save it for the show, save it for the show.
I can't wait to see
G. Scott is here from the G and Ursula show.
Are we in for another surprise today?
I can't wait to see y'all today.
Okay.
So what's going on? So I didn't get the invite to the Derby party.
Oh, no.
I see James Lynch. I see Luke Ducey, Aaron Granillo, Matt Markovich, and the traffic guy, Chris Sullivan.
Don't they look great?
Wow. I don't know if you can zoom in on
Got
this.
their bow ties and their hats on for the Derby.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, this is good.
Turn that camera. There we go. Yeah.
That's very good.
We're looking at these gentlemen. They're wearing their fancy Derby outfits.
Where's G in your fancy Derby outfit?
I know. How come I didn't get the invite, Sully?
I don't know. I didn't throw the party.
Oh, man.
I just showed up. First time ever I've been to a Kentucky Derby party, which is kind of interesting.
I just got one question. When you guys were doing the camera, and you don't have to answer this, trust me, you don't want to. When you were doing it, why did y'all not put James in the middle? And why y'all put him on the end?
I don't know. I was the last person up to that photo, so I was on the end.
Like, y'all don't think about that. You don't think about the balance of the picture. Like, you don't think about that all the time. James Lynch should not be on the end on this one.
Let me see that.
I don't know. We just got together for a photo. I don't know.
Oh, that is low. And Matt's wearing shorts.
I know.
Yeah.
That's very.
Yeah, we all kind of look very similar.
Very dapper.
Yeah.
Hey, confidence in a man that wears some shorts.
Right?
Yeah. Matt Markovich be working out. Okay. All right, we got to talk real news because this is Seattle's morning news.
Yeah.
All right, so this Wednesday, which will be my daughter's birthday, she turns 30.
Does she have her real ID yet?
Yeah, she does. She does. Well, thank you. You're going to need to have your real ID on Wednesday. Sully has been telling you about this. The standards have been outlined since 2005, but here we are. Some of you all that love to do your homework at the last minute, you know what I mean? You knew the teacher told you all year long when the assignment was due, but no, you want to do it on Sunday night before that Monday is due. So if you pull up show up to SCA or whatever airport that you want to without the real ID, will they let you fly? Ish. Yeah, they will. However, it's going to take you some time. You're going to have to, excuse me, can we get you over here, sir, ma'am? That's what's going to happen. So if you're someone that loves to get to the airport an hour before your flight and then you think that you don't have real ID, good luck. Don't try that. Please don't try that. So if you are someone, I know I'm probably not supposed to say this, but I will advise, if you don't have that real ID, I would maybe suggest getting to that thing 3.5, 4 hours early. I just wouldn't mess around.
Take a passport.
If you don't have that, take a passport. You can also have the passport card, the DHS Trusted Traveler Cards, the U.S. Department of Defense ID. So there's a few things that you can take if you don't have any.
What's your take, though? Do people deserve a little empathy, a little sympathy here as they get to the airport and realize they're going to have a hard time traveling?
There are just some people who just don't follow the damn rules either way, right? So sometimes you got to wake them up. In my opinion, real talk,
yeah.
If you don't have your real ID or your passport, you can't fly. At some point, well, I'll ask this of you parents out there. When you tell your children their curfew is 10 p.m. and they come in at 10:05, do you make them serve consequences for that, or do you let it slide?
No sliding. Got to be on time.
Charlie?
10:05. I can be.
I already knew. You know what? I already knew the answer to your question.
10:30. That's another story.
So, and if they come in at 10:05, the next time they have to come in, what time are they gonna come in?
10:10.
Yeah.
Keep pushing.
They're gonna keep pushing until you tell us so. So in this case, my opinion, you better get that in hands.
What if you have a picture of yourself in a bow tie and you're holding a mint julep?
Sully. How come we didn't get the invite to this?
I don't know. I didn't host the party.
Oh, that's on Luke. That's on Luke.
Oh, Luke did this?
Yeah, I just showed up.
He's at his desk.
The thing is about Luke, what Luke wore here, he wears this stuff to work.
That is true. He's a sharp dresser.
So what we need to do, by the way.
I've never seen him wear salmon-colored pants at work.
He'd be wearing salmon-colored. I was going to say something, Amanda, but I've learned. I've learned, Amanda.
Don't go there, Gene.
All right.
Gene Ursula coming up 9 to noon. Sully is at the Beacon Plumbing traffic desk.
And we are looking at a pretty heavy drive still getting into the heart of downtown Seattle. Northbound I-5 from about the middle of Boeing Field into downtown, but we're getting better through Federal Way. So we're back down to just about an hour from Federal Way to Seattle. Don't bail in through Georgetown and Soto. We've got a fatal crash investigation that has shut down northbound 4th Ave, or it looks to have, right underneath the Spokane Street Viaduct, and we're already backed up to Lucille. 1st Ave is much better. Northbound Airport Way would probably be your best option to think about getting into the city at this point if you're in Georgetown. Coming down from the north end, we still have about an hour drive from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue, though we're loosening up on 405. Still kind of heavy through Linwood on I-5. The Lake Bridges, though, are still in fine shape. Renton to Bellevue, a little over 40 minutes. The Valley Freeway is cleaning out, 45 minutes or less. 18 over Tiger Mountain, still struggling before the summit all the way down to I-90. And it looks like we might have had a little crash there right under I-90 on eastbound 18 as well. So we have a little work left to do. This report brought to you by Lake Washington Windows and Doors, which makes it easy to enjoy efficient new windows now and defer paying for them for 12 months. 0 down, 0 payment, 0 interest. LakeWashingtonWindows.com.
Weather-wise, nice way to start the week. Sunny and 68 today, warming up to 77 tomorrow. Right now it's 48.
And on the G and Ursula Show, more reaction to the weekend's top stories. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, where it's 8:55.
You never know what's in store each morning once you hit the road.
We've got a major traffic alert in effect right now.
Well, you're getting ready every morning. Make us part of your routine.
What morning, huh?
Yeah. Got off to an early start.
Just tell your smart speaker to play KIRO News Radio or stream us on the app.
Both directions of I-5 are closed.
We'll help you get where you're going faster.
Maybe bail at 512.
KIRO News Radio. We're on your smart speaker, the app, and 97.3 FM, KIRO FM, and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-917-4635, and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-917-4635. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-917-4635 now to secure your